bridge over whatever we're going over here. This one does not apparently have a drawbridge, and it goes from 40 miles an hour to 60 miles an hour as you get. Well, we have gone past Nag's Head and Kill Devil Hills, and now we are at the northernmost beaches, headed towards Corolla and someplace else up here. But it's just great big massive beach rental houses. This is the place my brother rented. We're on the 3rd story where you can see out over the ocean. And it's a rough day on the ocean. Lots of waves. This is the beach outside of the house. Again, this is Corolla, North Carolina. There's the water is so cold it creates a mist of cool air along the beach. People don't go in it very much, maybe just for their feet. Now down in this direction from the beach, there is four-wheel drive access. You can just see that through the pylons down there. You can drive your four-wheel drive vehicle down the beach. It's kind of dumb if you ask me, because you stay on the wet stuff and it's hard and you can get anything down it. If you get off it, you're going to be stuck. It doesn't really matter what you got unless you got humongous tires, but they take groups down there to do it. It's a rough day on the beach. Here we are at the Wright Brothers Memorial. It's up on top of the mountain, which is really a big sand dune. There's a nice path, all concrete, up to the memorial. Following around the loop road, there's a replica of the Wright Brothers plane. That's pretty cool. And there's one of the Wright Brothers is right in it. This is the visitor center looking from the memorial on top of the hill, and some of the other information centers. This is the reconstructed barracks of Orville and Wilbur Wright used for their team. And then the building on the other side is the hangar for the airplane. So they kept the airplane in a hangar, keep it out of the weather and stuff, then brought it out and put it together. After 4 years of scientific research and rigorous experimentation with their 1903 flyer on the rail, the Wrights were set to fly. In unison, they each pulled down a propeller. The engine roars to life. The propellers whip through the air. Only a restraining wire keeps the flyer in place. Orville climbs into the machine and positions himself into the hip cradle. He releases the restraining wire and the machine slowly moves forward. Wilbur runs alongside to steady the machine. After traveling 40 feet down the rail, the flyer lifts into the air, ushering in the age of flight. So here is the rail. I'm sure that's the original one. And here is the first boulder. This is the first successful flight. It's made from this spot. This tablet was erected by the National Aeronautics Association. And then there are boulders down the way showing how far each successful flight went. And you can see way down at the end, that's the last successful flight. Way down. First couple of flights took some training for the pilots, and then they went down. Pretty neat. I'm going to assume that's a replica, but it might not be. It might be the real thing. Who knows? It says the real thing on the sign. So this is our campsite. We have all this room behind us that's really free and clear. There's nobody behind us, nobody up there where we can bother them or they could bother us. Got dunes on either side of us. We're in a beautiful, nice, almost level. We've got one board under the wheel, one 3/4 inch board under the wheel. Plenty of room for the car. Right next to the bathroom and right next to the dumpster. And behind the bathroom is the water spigot. If we want water, we just walk over there and get it. And up the boardwalk from the bathroom are the showers, which they're called showers out in a cabana type of thing, but they're all right. As the owner of a dog, you do have to be a little careful because these things are in the sand. And those are kind of like a prickly pear cactus, and they're around. I don't think they're up and running yet, but those are serious. We have found some of the little burrs that are in the grass, but none have stuck to him. They've stuck to me though. But this is up behind our campsite. All of this. There's another campsite right over this hump, but I don't think we're bothering them. And then this is all ours. Got good place for him to play and lift his leg on all these trees and everything. It's like, it's a pretty nice place. I'm really pleased. So this is the top of the campground. We're up in the P64, 63, and you can see through the dunes and out. Here's A, turn left here. Here's B, turn left at this dumpster. I don't know what everybody's parked here for. I guess because there's a hiking trail that goes over there through the dunes. for a Saturday night. It seems like a lot of the perimeter sites are open. I see a lot of reserve signs too though, so maybe they'll come in late. Takes forever to get here. We may have to put out the patio mat because it seems that there are these little burrs in the grass here that stick to everything. It's good to have those patio mats. Here's Loop C. Yeah, I'm going to have to go around all of these. Some of the tenters go way up into their dune behind their campsite and tent. Beach town of Cape Hatteras. I imagine it's like any other beach resort. Lots of great big massive houses up on stilts. I don't know how they continue to build these and how often they get taken out by hurricanes. Maybe the news makes it worse than it seems, but there's an awful lot of houses here and they're huge. They're big and tall. I would think a 50-mile-an-hour wind would take them out pretty easy, much less a 100-mile-an-hour wind. Okay, good camping tip of the day. I just had oatmeal for breakfast with some bananas, some raisins. I don't wash my dishes like I do at home. I take a paper towel and I wipe them out real good. Sometimes I let him clean them out. But then I take some hot water, just clean hot water, dip the paper towel in there and clean them on the inside a little more. If you've got real greasy stuff, you might want to drop a soap. But if you keep it in your paper towel, you don't have dirty wash water to get rid of. So the wash water is, you know, nice warm water, but you don't need to put soap and water and everything together. It makes it a toxic mess to get rid of on the ground outside or wherever you're going to dispose of it. I've got just a nice warm water bath here that I can use to rinse my hands or rinse off my face, my hands, whatever, but I don't feel bad about throwing it out on the ground when I'm done because it's got nothing in it. No food particles, no soap in it, nothing. So just a tip of the day. And my bowls, my plates, my everything is just as clean as anything else. So remember that one. If you've been to many oceanside island type towns that early on in their history earn their living from the ocean and sailing and things like that, you hear a lot of strange stories and tales. I think the truth is that sailors drink too much, but This is a very interesting tree right here. We're going to stop and look at this tree. I gotta find a place to park. So, the legend of this tree is that a woman named Cora came to Cape Hatteras, didn't really socialize with the locals, had a little hut way out on the point, away from the villagers and stuff, had a little baby that she kept with her all the time, and the locals started rumors about her and calling her a witch. And a captain from Massachusetts who had been at the witch trials brought his boat in to Cape Hatteras for repairs, and he was insistent that she probably was a witch, and he knew all the tests and dragged her out of her hut and tied her up and gave her the tests, and she failed all the tests, so he was gonna burn her. So he tied her to this tree. This is a great big live oak, and was putting wood around the base of her, and got a torch and lit it and was going to throw it on the tree. And all of a sudden the skies darkened and a bolt of lightning came down and split this tree, and you can see the tree is pretty well split from a lightning strike, split right in two, and Cora and her baby were gone. So the only thing that was left was this carving on the tree that says Cora. There's C-O-R-A carved in the tree, and Cora and her baby were gone. And that's the legend. But this is a live oak. Live oaks are pretty cool because they grow for about 75 years and then they just stop. And they continue to live for up to 200 or 300 years. And this is like a massive tree. And that little orange thing, if you're wondering, that's a bug trap to look for bugs. And this is a massive live oak. So these are all around the south. They're green all the time. They don't lose their leaves. That's why they call them a live oak. They look like they're always alive. We are at the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse access road, and we are going towards the campground. Cape Point Campground. That's what it is. Cape Point. $20 per night, $10 with a senior pass. By reservation only due to COVID. It is a big open field with a lot of crossroads. Not my style. And it looks pretty flooded. It has rained here a lot in the last couple of days. It's got no hookups. Just small sites and a centrally located bathroom, which I think we're going to test. And they have hot showers just like I have with cold water. So these are the tent sites. You park on the side here, parallel park, and then set up your tent in the water. If you wander away from all the touristy things and all the special sights and things to see, the Cape Hatteras Island does have some really neat places to hike and visit out in the woods of the marine seashores and stuff like that. We're out having a good time. This is not a trail. I think it used to be a trail. Looks like somebody drove through it at one time, but it's just interesting, these beautiful big trees and live oaks and stuff. Come here. This is what we like to explore. The tourist attractions are neat. The history is cool, but getting in amongst these whirly trees that are just all over the place. The old live oaks. Look at how big these are. They just go on forever and they don't go up very far. Pretty neat. And then of course there's the pine trees. So all right, we're at the lighthouse. Ticket sales, restrooms, visitor center. Obviously there's a fee. Oh, you are open.
That's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, it's going to be wonderful. It's a great place.
Right? Just driving through this like, oh,
All right. There is the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. And believe it or not, they moved it almost 1,000 feet. And these stones at the bottom, when they moved it, they built a new base. If you look at the base of the lighthouse, it's like modern stone. So they put it on that. And these are the original bases. And they carved all the lightkeepers' names that had ever taken care of the lighthouse on the stones. So that's pretty cool. And then they moved them here to make this little amphitheater. But there were a lot of lighthouse keepers that just kept the light burning. This is the main lightkeeper's house, and then this is the barracks for the backup lightkeepers and assistants and whatever else they needed. But it probably had all the necessaries. This is not a time lapse, but you cannot imagine how big this thing really is. The bottom of this must be 50 feet across, and it just goes up into the sky like crazy. Must be very impressive at night. This is pretty interesting on the there's the lighthouse and there's the shoreline. 75, 47, 17, 1872, 1852. It definitely was seeing a lot of erosion, so they moved it from right here to way down there. Yeah, we're kind of going into the sun here, but this beach is just covered with kites and boards, and I don't know if they're renting them or if it's just a group that comes down here all the time. Very interesting kite surfing on hydroplane, on a hydroboard or whatever they call it. This guy is good. And a regular board. At the bottom of Hatteras, there's a ferry that will take you over to Ocracoke Island, which is a very old island. It's a lot of history and a lot of good restaurants and food and everything, but it's free. I'm told they run it about every 30 minutes, and the guy from the North Carolina DOT says they'll take anything. Car, truck, planes, boats, they don't care. They'll take anything. It just goes back and forth. Here's the Ocracoke Village. All sorts of good things you can do over there. That would be cool. We'll have to see if we can get over there. Spend some time over there. It's a little airstrip. So, we're about to get on the ferry to go to Ocracoke Island. So we just got off the ferry in Ocracoke Island, and this is the road off the ferry. Looks like they've done a little repairs to some things. Looks like they had a little washout here. Ocracoke Island has a history of wild ponies that they corral and break and use for, you know, riding and work horses. Be interesting to see wild ponies. This fence that's right in front of us, we've been following this for about 5 miles, maybe 2 miles down this road into Ocracoke. So I think that's all pony area. Still on the road from the ferries. We passed the pony corral, and the road just gets more interesting. The Ocracoke Campground, National Park Service. I thought about coming here, but I didn't think it was necessary. Well, it appears we finally got to Ocracoke. Speed limit is 20 miles an hour. Ocracoke is a small village of restaurants and bars and souvenir places. Well, goodbye Ocracoke Island. We are the last vehicle on the ferry. Boy, they tighten you in good here. They were nice enough to put a block behind my tire in case I slid off. Stay. If you can see all the shallows in this water, we've got to go all the way around all of these and all the way back over to the other way. It's way out and around. It takes an hour and 10 minutes. Well, folks, thanks for coming to another social distancing event with me. We'll see you on the next video. Subscribe, share, like, give me a little love. Thanks for coming.